to highlight the businesses that changed their business model, just accepted that things are changing right now. You can't just close shop. You really just have to adapt to what's going on. Try and make changes to keep your business alive, and change with the times. So we've invited 3 speakers today. So we have Vickie Breslin of The Post. So she's going to be representing our restaurants. We also invited Flo, let me just make sure I'm doing this hopefully correct, Grosskurth of Linden Tree, and so she's representing our retail side. And then we have Alene, who is from Barre3 Los Altos, representing the service side and the service industry and specifically fitness. So we're going to have each of our speakers speak for about 10 minutes to let you know what they've done to update their business model during shelter in place, and tell you a little bit about their business and maybe things that are coming up in ways that you can support them. And then after we've done that, we will open this up to more of a discussion, Q&A. I have a few polls for you, and just share ideas as a business community to support each other. So kicking it off, we have Flo is going to be talking for us. Let me see if I can have you start your video again.
Hi.
All right.
Should I just take it away?
Yeah, go ahead and take it away.
Okay, awesome. Well, hi everyone. It's weird doing a Zoom where I can't see everyone's faces, so I can't tell if can't get enough feedback, but I'll do my best. So first of all, we didn't really accept that this is how things were going to be, just to be fair. We really just sort of rolled with it. We didn't have a lot of choice. So I'm Flo. I'm one of the new owners of Linden Tree Books. Chris and I took over in September, but we really didn't sort of take over independently until December. So when this hit in late February, I mean, just this is like a shock to the system, of course, like new business, all these things that we were still learning. The most important thing for us, first of all, though, was not making sure that the business was surviving, was that our staff were sort of taken care of, because we have a lot of staff that is over 60 years old, ex-teachers and librarians and, you know, retired folks that for whom working at Linden Tree is sort of a passion more than, you know, just a job. And so that was really hard. So we decided pretty quickly that we were going to ask people to, if they could help, to stay on and help, and otherwise, you know, to help from home. So some of the very first things we did is to try and figure out if we could rally around each other, around what our pluses and sort of like, what were the things that we were really good at. So some of us are really good at online stuff. Some of us are really good at, you know, finding where all the books are really fast. I mean, really fast, so we can help do fulfillment and these kinds of things. And so we started working together in pieces, which is really weird because normally, you know, we're all together in one place. We had to sort of find ways, okay, you can be at the store between this hour and this hour. Okay. And then I'll come and pick up the thing. So we started doing online, you know, online, obviously fulfillment and deliveries and all that stuff. And that was okay. People have been really amazing in Los Altos and in the neighboring areas. That was also really weird because, you know, we're a face-to-face business sort of, and selling books online. It's fine if you know what books you're looking for, but if you're looking for children's books, you sort of got to look at it and feel it. So we then started doing online, FaceTime online with a bookseller as a result of this sort of pain point where if you know which book you want, again, it's easy, but if you don't, then what? You can't really look inside of a workbook on Amazon. You can't look inside of a toy or whatever. So we started doing FaceTime with a bookseller, and this 30-minute slots that people can book on Facebook. So you can set up your Facebook to include appointments, your Facebook business page. And so we did these 30-minute slots, and it's actually been going fairly well. I'd say most of them are always booked, most of the slots. We only have sort of, I think between maybe 10 a week that you can sign up for. And the reason for that is, one, we don't have enough staff to fulfill them all. But two, also, we don't want people to feel like this is like a never ending thing, like you have to sign up for, versus just sort of, if there's a little bit of scarcity too, people I think are more attracted to that, which is weird, but anyway. And so people have been liking those because they get to see us, they get to see the store, they ask us a lot of questions during those, and they also do things like, oh, so-and-so's birthday's coming up, and we make packages for people, and that's really helpful. So I've been thinking about sort of like in the restaurant business, and I don't know about service, but definitely in the restaurant businesses, if you like, if birthdays are coming up or anniversaries or whatever, people can buy each other gifts for, anniversaries, and, here's a nice meal for your upcoming birthday. Here's, obviously you guys know all of this, but just sort of on the other side. It's really weird because I can't see your faces, so I can't tell if what I'm saying is any good or not.
If you want, I can start turning them back on. Would that be easier for you?
It's okay. I'm just, I think it would be easier for me because then I could be like, oh, people don't like, hi, Victoria.
Yeah.
Exactly. I can tell Victoria was like, yeah, we already tried that. That's a bad idea. So we tried that, and that's been good. I would love to do, for example, a FaceTime with Charlie, with Chef Charlie, if he's still there. I'd be like, can I have like a private cooking lesson with you? Like, this is awesome. That would be awesome. That's one thing we did. The other thing we did is we did do bundles for Mother's Day and for Easter. We set up these book bundles and toy bundles ourselves. And that's like a whole other thing, learning how to do bundles and online and then delivering them and all of that. But bundles were also a pretty good idea because people, again, don't really know exactly what people with young children may need. But this is sort of like a one size fits all-ish. And so, people were able to go and say, okay, my kid is 5 years old and they like this kind of stuff, so this bundle works well. Hello, it's so nice to see this. We're a human race. We need each other. So bundles have been good-ish. FaceTime with booksellers has been good-ish. We've been doing deliveries locally, so we go and deliver ourselves to Los Altos, Mountain View, Palo Alto, and Menlo Park-ish, depending on where it falls exactly. Turns out this is a really big area. And so we've been giving the deliveries to people that are maybe I should say we haven't been giving them. People have been volunteering their hours, and if they can do them, they do them, to people that can't come in the store to help fulfill, but they've got, a couple of hours between things with their kids, or, they want to get out of the house for a couple of hours. So we've been sort of, if you can't come in the store, but you need something to do, please go do deliveries, and then we also mail and all of that other stuff. Something else we've been doing is we've been really proactive about our online messages and emails from people. So we've given more of our staff access to all of the sort of administrative emails, the shop at Linden Tree and info at Linden Tree and the Facebook messages, so that people, when they're messaging us from all over, sort of all times of day or night, we're at least available immediately. And I think that's gone a long way to helping people feel like they're heard, but also it's making us feel better about being there for our community. I know it sounds weird, like we're not trying to make ourselves feel better, but we're trying to sort of be there and help people in a sort of timely manner and be there before Amazon can be there, because that's weird too. So that's one other thing. Trying to think, what else have we done? We've done a ton of readings online, and that really has been more for the parents. So we have Tuesday mornings, Thursday afternoons, and Sunday mornings. We all have story time, and we sort of specialize in different kinds of books. So some will be for a slightly older audience and some will be for a slightly younger audience. And then we've also been doing read-alongs. This week, I think we took a break, but we did read-alongs for older kids, for book club, for sort of the 8 to 10-year-olds that still like being read to, but, can't really be bothered all the time. And then the other thing is we've been doing a book club. We pick a book, and the book club is not going super well, but it's okay. We're sort of just going to keep going until nobody shows up, until it's like 0 people are here. Only because even if it's helping one or two kids, because the book club is for the older kids or the middle schoolers, you know, they need one more place, and we'd love to be that place for them to connect at. And so between all of us and all the story times and the book clubs and the FaceTimes, it seems like we're in a lot of places, but it's only hitting a small percentage of, you know, the people that we'd love to hit, but that's okay. We're sort of chugging along. You know, and to be frank with all of you, we're only making 20 to 30% of what we, you know, normally made. So this has been, I mean, I don't want to focus on the negative here. This is about a positive, you know, solution finding sort of thing. So I think I'll stop. I think that was 10 minutes, but I'd love to answer any questions now or whatever.
Yeah, I say we, if you have questions, people can type it into the Zoom chat, and then we'll get to those kind of at the end. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing. I've really enjoyed following you on social media through all of this, especially having a young kid. Like I love all the energy and seeing the books and everything from there.
Oh, good. Thank you. We're trying a lot of random things, and we've given a lot of people a lot of flexibility to keep trying on their own.
Yeah.
I think that has been a giant leap of faith, because it's like, you know, if you see something cool, go for it, go post it. If you want to respond to an email in your own voice, you be you. Like, this is not the time for us to be picky. This is not the time for us to, you know, we're all one team here, so let's just do the best we can.
That's a really great point. All right, so let's see. Vickie, are you ready to take it away?
Sure, yes. Sorry, I had a few technical differences.
No worries.
Like, can somebody else go first? So yeah, my name is Vickie. I own the Post in downtown Los Altos. I think I've seen most of you there. Obviously, you know, I think it was March 15th when Gavin Newsom came out with the shelter-in-place order, and, you know, definitely saw that coming, but for sure it was like, okay, now what? And I didn't think it made sense to go right into a takeout and curbside pickup, things like that, because that's not my business model. I'm, you know, we're a sit-down restaurant. People come in, you know, from the get-go, it was about being a community and welcoming people in from Los Altos, and really just having that community vibe where you grab a drink, it's casual, it's just that kind of experience. So takeout and delivery and things like that, yeah, we did it, but not to the level we're doing now. So to say it's been a challenge, that would be an understatement. But, you know, over the last 2 months, you know, we basically took a week to figure out what was going to work. I looked at New York, I looked at different markets, and kind of was just trying to figure out what the best way to go about it. And so at start, you know, when I saw New York did the whole loosening of the ABC laws, I was like, okay, let's go for cocktail kits and things like that. Why I'm developing my menu for takeout. And I knew I wanted to start really small with the takeout menu because I didn't know what was going to stick. And through all this, it's been one of those where it's, let me throw everything at the wall and see what sticks, see what people like. And each week we're getting better at this. And so, you know, a week into it, we opened up just with cocktails and everything, knowing that Tuesday we were going to launch our curbside pickup menu and delivery. And I opted out of doing any DoorDash or anything like that, given for a few reasons. A, they take a lot of profit from restaurants. I know there's movements for that to be, you know, change, but that's still one thing. And just for the safety. I personally don't use it. I live by a place where there's a DoorDash pickup center, and I just don't think it's the safest option. That's my opinion. Who knows? I could be completely wrong. But I just felt like, hey, if you know Vickie's delivering, or if you know one of, you know, your bartender Christian or something like that is delivering your food, you're going to feel a lot more comfortable. So that's still something we're really pushing and growing on. So, you know, what I've found over the last, like I said, few weeks, is that our meal kits have been working really well. People are really loving those. Communication is key, and that's across all, from my investors to my staff, because most of my staff aren't working, to our guests. How can we get the word out that we're doing delivery? How can we get information out that we have these new kits and things like that? People walk by, I'm there every day, I talk to people, but so social media has been a really big way to get the word out about different things we're offering. So that's been really important. And then it has definitely been interesting because we are 100% operating without a playbook. And so it's just trying to each day come up with innovative ideas. And I know I've talked with Kim a lot about ideas I have, from everything from like a movie theater to get people to order, to shutting down the street so people can have al fresco dining, to when we are able to reopen our dining room. Like, I know we're going to be at maybe a 30, maybe a 40% capacity. What are we going to do with those tables inside? And I'm trying to come up with the most off the wall ideas. So some of which being, maybe having Linden Tree, have one of those tables that's out of play, display some of their items there and things that they're doing, so that we can get the whole community involved. And that's one thing that's I think is really important for pivoting the business too, is coming together as a community and working with, not only my peers in the restaurant business, but the community itself, on how we can really keep our village, strong, and as many business still, in business when we come out of this, whenever that may be. So what's working really well, like I said, for sure, the cocktail kits, people love those. Our growlers to go, the meal kits, people definitely love those. And, we have ones that people can take away and they're already prepared. And then we also have ones that, you get to make at home. We give recipes and things like that. Another thing that I just recently added in is I'm a market now, and I joke with my friends quite often. I'm like, I never thought I was going to be a grocer, but here we go. So, and it's been, the feedback from our guests has been really positive, and it's, we're still getting the word out. We're still adding more items, but to keep people from having to go to the grocery store, plus they can pick it up from the curbside or have it delivered. That's one thing I'm really trying to get across, is that we will deliver, I think we've delivered all the way to Half Moon Bay, but that was a special situation. So, again, going back to throwing everything out there and seeing what works. And that's why I thought it was important to take that week, figure out what I thought would be a good starting point, started really small. And then from feedback from our guests, from the community, from, friends that are helping me every day, that's how the menu and things like that are evolving, and then we're now at the point where I touched a little bit about the dining room, on how I want to reconfigure it and use those tables to make them interesting and hopefully bring in the community too. But then I've already reconfigured the bar area, and so that you're 6 feet away from the bartender and 6 feet away from the next table, and then every other booth. So we've changed everything. And now we're even at the point where we're putting in one of our windows, because they do fold open, basically a pickup window for, drinks to go, from soft drinks to cocktail kits and everything. And you can grab your food and walk up. We'll have music playing, and just kind of, because downtown right now, people are just walking through all the time, and they still want to interact with people. And that's one of the things about being in the restaurant business. That's one of the things I miss the most, is being able to talk to our guests, because not only are they coming in for a service and for a meal, but we're creating an experience for them. And that's something that we're all lacking right now. So being able to open those windows and kind of have a vibe, you know, that's still, you know, fun, because I think is really important. So, and then I guess one other thing that I found and been thinking about since this all really started, and believe me, my head is all over the place most of the time, is we were coming to be on our 2-year anniversary right when we got shut down. Have had that location for 3 years, took a year to build, but you know, 2 years in business. So one thing that, you know, I'll wake up in the middle of the night, or I'll have a thought, you know, at some point, and I just jot it down. It's like, what are the things that I didn't like, or didn't work well, or weren't exactly how I envisioned this when I, you know, when I open? What are those things that I can do when we do get a reopen? And I know it's really tough to try and be, you know, creative and look to the future and like think about, oh, I'm gonna make all these amazing changes. But I think it's important. I think, you know, for any business, that's what's really key, is the items that is to really think about, you know, what, not just going back to how you were, but how can you make it better? So obviously still a work in progress. One other thing we're thinking of doing for when we reopen, just because of the capacity and which I haven't even gone through everything that Gavin Newsom put out for when we can reopen, is going more to a order, you know, either order ahead, because we are starting with chow now, or order when you walk in, and then either getting a number if you're sitting in the restaurant, or if what I'm really pushing for is getting those streets closed down. And then we just text them when their food is ready, and then they can come grab it too. So we might not be a full service sit down restaurant when we reopen, but just gonna have to wait and see. So I think that covers most of, oh, one other big thing, which I wanted to show, in this could be used across the board, is we have come up with a QR code for our menu. And so and that way, because it's going to be single use menus, or I thought this would be a good way that everybody has a phone or a tablet or something. They can just, you know, click onto the QR code and pull up our menu, everything from our wine list to our, you know, cocktails and our food menu kits and things like that. So if I can do this right, I will pull it up. If not, I'm gonna have my friend Katie help me real quick. But
the other thing, if I can interject on that, Victoria, is I think that QR code is something that all of our businesses can use, restaurants, retailers, service providers, to have at your door, so that whether you're a retailer, someone comes by and they'd like to connect to your online storefront, they can scan the QR code. Just one second. So I think that's a real, I think it would be a great advantage for all of our merchants. And I can, Jean-Luc is a contact for that. And so I can share the email address for how you can get your own QR code for your business.
Yeah, and then I did it with just who I work with on my website, and he literally turned it around less than a day. So I'm happy to help with that too. For some reason, I'm not able to share my screen. Is there a way to allow?
Yeah, I'm gonna make you a host. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna make you a co-host, and then you should be able to do that. So 1 second. All right, so now give it a try.
Okay, just 1 second. Okay, maybe it's not going to let me use it, but I can always show it later if we can get it to come up. And, you know, I think everybody's pretty familiar with what a QR code is, but it
Yeah.
does make it a little more seamless. And as Kim said, there's Jean-Luc who can help with that. And then I'm also happy to connect anybody with James and everything. We'll be having that starting today at the restaurant too, and on our website. So, but I know I've gone over my 10 minutes, so I'll go ahead and mute myself now.
Did you want to tell us real quick about your wine tasting, virtual wine tasting event?
Oh, yeah, thanks. Yeah. So a couple things we have coming up are, yes, we are doing a wine tasting with the winemaker of Newton Vineyards. We're offering, it's going to be tomorrow. So I know this is a little short notice, but it's, I don't know who is familiar with Newton, but they are an amazing winery. And we're offering the wines at, a phenomenal price, which that's been something that's been very, gone very well for us, is selling wine. But it will be, we're offering 2 bottles, which are the Newton Unfiltered Cab and the Newton Unfiltered Chard. And then you have the option to add the Puzzle, which is they're all great wines, but the Puzzle is definitely a much higher end too. And it should just be a fun time to jump on a Zoom call with the winemaker, taste the wines. He's going to show slides, do Q&A, and then we're going to even offer a meal pairing with it too. And everything can be either picked up or delivered from the post, and it's going to be tomorrow at 6. And then I am working with a couple schools because they're still doing their auctions, and we're going to be doing meals for all their auctions and doing delivery on those dates. So I think we have one on May 29th. We'll be offering another wine tasting with Nickel and Nickel and Farniente. We're setting up that date right now. And then we have, like I said, we have put, just our little takeout window right in the front where you can walk up right now and just grab, whether it be a strawberry lemonade in a to-go cup or a cocktail kit to go and everything like that, with the nice weather coming, minus this weekend. So those are a few things, and there's more coming. So yeah.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
So much, Vickie. All right. So Alene, do you want to take over?
Yes, thanks. So I'm going to rewind back to the middle of March when this kind of all started, and how we started at our studio. For those of you that don't know, Barre3 is a full body workout that incorporates strength conditioning, cardio, and mindfulness. And so just a little background on kind of exercise fitness program that we have. So we went from a class size of 23 to a reduced class size of about 15, 16 in the beginning. And we significantly reduced our classes. Our full capacity of classes were 46, and we started dwindling down to about, I think we went down to about 20. And then shelter in place happened, and we closed our doors and we went completely digital. So we took our in-class studio and we put it on Zoom. So now we do all of our classes, we're doing 16 of them a week through Zoom. We have had to learn audio, how to visually appear on Zoom and allow people to see us move in our bodies. We've had to learn how to teach differently, use our bodies in a way to explain things. Our onboarding has changed a little bit. So clients have had to learn, how to get on Zoom. I don't know, we're pretty well versed here, but we have clients with different, different online experiences. And so there's been a lot of times, like right before class is going to start, where we get a text message to the studio. How do I do it? How do I click on the link? What do I do? So it not only has it taken our instructors and most of our front desk no longer is working at this point, but our assistant manager is. And so between her and I working kind of our front desk, we've been onboarding people like right before class and getting them started. So learning curve was steep and fast, but you know, there's been a lot of opportunity, and that's why I'm here. I wanted to share some of that. We no longer are limited to our geographical boundaries, right? We are no longer limited to just Los Altos, Mountain View, Palo Alto. We have our own communities, friends and family now taking classes from us. So we had somebody from Wales take class. We have, you know, East Coast people taking classes. So it's been great to see kind of that, and to see their faces when they're taking class together. So that's a part of the class. And for those of you that don't know, Barre3 is a franchise. So I get to lean on collective wisdom of 160 other owners in the United States, or internationally actually. So we plug in at least once a week, and we chat about what's working for each other's studios, and we take that wisdom and try to bring it back into our own studios and see what works for us. So I do have that network available to me, which I'm really, really grateful for. So kind of moving forward, what we've done, what we've tried, we have an Instagram retail store that now we've put all of our retail on. We have outsourced some of our weights in the studio. So if clients need weights, they can come by and rent them, or just not rent them, take them and use them in their homes. We've been selling our props. For those of you that have ever or haven't taken a Barre3 class, we use like a core ball, we use bands, we use weights. So we've been able to sell more of those so people can have their at-home workouts. We're still struggling with retail a little bit, kind of the how and getting in a rhythm of that. But I don't know what a QRB code is, by the way. I think Kim was like, don't you guys all know? I don't know. So if you can throw that my way, I'll be very grateful. And I'm a fairly new owner. So I took over in June. So I haven't been owner for a whole year yet. So talk about the roller coaster. We had a great kind of beginning. Everybody knows summers in Los Altos are quite slow. And then once fall hit, we went up and running, and it was fantastic. And then March. So it's been quite a roller coaster for me. Lots of growth, lots of learning. But you know, like I said, there's opportunity, there's silver lining, and we're just trying to hone in on how to get our word out that we have these online classes now. We've been marketing what's worked for us. We've been marketing on Facebook. So getting us out on Facebook. Instagram, not so much. The marketing on Instagram hasn't worked for us as well, but for sure Facebook has. And just being really, really present on social media. For us, that's really, really worked. So we have a social media manager that's working right now, and she is posting 6 days a week. We have trying to get a lot of engagement on social media, what's working, what's not working, taking that and bringing it back into the digital platform and pivoting where we need to make our classes better, to connect our community more, to keep us connected, because that's what really Barre3 Los Altos is about, is moving big and staying connected with our community. So that's all I have. I mean, happy to open it up to questions. And we have just a little, if you guys wanted to try, we have a drop-in class rate of $15, and we have right now, excuse me, a 2-week $49 unlimited class special. So
that's great. And I noticed, so I've been following you on Instagram, and like on the Instagram stories, you have kind of free mindfulness sessions.
Yeah, so every Monday at 12:30, one of our instructors leads about a 15-20 minute Mindful Mondays.
Yeah.
On Thursdays, we have what we call a deeper dive Thursday, where one of our mentors goes through a part of our class. So they dive deeply into like, how do you do a certain position, and what is it important for? How do you modify? And then every Friday at 5 o'clock, we have a 30-minute free online class. So on Instagram, yeah.
Great, thank you so much. So yeah, let's open this up for any questions. Looks like Flo, you need to head out by 10:50. So if anyone has any specific questions for Flo and Linden Tree Books, maybe start there. Feel free to go ahead and jump in if you have any questions. And I think I did see one earlier from Mimi. I think Mimi, you had a question for her?
No, that was a recommendation, and that's a great one. I will ask we have Mary Sheila, which I'm sure many of you know. She's our sort of point person for all community related stuff, and I'll make sure if she hasn't already reached out. The problem with the library as well and other places is connecting with them is everyone's in the same boat. So it's like they're trying to reach to their own audience and they don't have the full staff, and so, but it's a great idea. Carol, I can see you talking, but you've got your mute button on.
Oh, let's see if I can figure out how to undo this.
You did it.
Nope. It's unmuted now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know if I've met you. We're neighbors across the street. I own Nature Gallery across the street. And I'm really sort of a big proponent of us trying to figure out how to do things together. I mean, I don't have the same business that you do, but I have a lot of the same clients that you do. And how can we figure out how to work together? Not just you and me, but across the board with different people. Vickie, I was thinking about restaurants. How can we, cross promote in the downtown? So get not only the what's open in Los Altos for restaurants, but who's got online businesses that are going, so that people get home with their food and they see, oh, wow, next time I go to the Post, I can go pick up some books at Linden Tree. I can go get some little crystal and fossil kit for my kids at Nature Gallery. So I just want to try to put it out there that we should try to put our thinking caps on and how to be more creative so that we can use our customer bases combined to reach more people and make it easier for people to buy from us. So that was my question and comment.
I have a question. Sorry, I think this was covered in a LAVA meeting, but Mary Sheila is part of that. And I know it's not exactly the same, and I'm still learning all the Los Altos ways of being, but why can't our businesses, or can our businesses rather, participate in farmers market on Thursdays somewhere else, not in the same place where the groceries and these things are, maybe at a different part of the street, by Pete's or something, and it could be the retailers or the services or the whatever, like maybe people come to pick up stuff, so you're not browsing, but you're really only picking up, or you're looking at stuff, you're getting ideas. So it's not so much touching and interacting, but maybe just sort of, since people can't go into Nature Gallery, for example, you can bring Nature Gallery out once a week.
I don't know. I mean, is Scott on our meeting? Scott Love is the one who runs the farmers market, and they've gotten rid of everything that gets people to loiter. So there's no music, there's no tables to sit around and eat at. I don't know if any of you were at the farmers market last week, but it was very low attended, which felt safe. But I don't know that they want people to be kind of browsing or kind of hanging out. It's an odd.
No, that makes sense. I guess the browsing makes sense. I guess I meant more have it sort of as a, I don't know. I was just.
Well, I think a lot of the idea is, could we have like a citywide sidewalk sale kind of thing? I know that the farmers market is restricted just by regulations. They can't have flowers. It's really just food. That's the only thing they're.
So you used to be able to get a table if you were a merchant in Lava at farmers market, but you couldn't sell anything at the table. I just got off a meeting with LaPod. Were you on that meeting, Kim?
No. I was
so the LaPod meeting was about moving forward and how the city's going to evolve. And one of the big things was making State, Main, and First Streets pedestrian only, getting restaurants to be serving outside on the sidewalk, moving that forward faster, starting with doing it on Farmers Market Day, have all the streets be closed. So encourage more people to come out and feel more safe by having all the streets closed to traffic, and having pickup in the back of restaurants. As I know that some of the restaurants were really bummed about farmers market being on the street and involved in their pickup. So that's one of the things the city is looking at. We'll see how that moves forward. But trying to get more people used to coming to downtown, because things are not going to go back to normal even after the shelter in place is lifted. It's just it's going to take a long time for people to get more used to coming out to the stores. So we have to figure out ways to work together. And I was listening to Vickie and saying, you know, hey, I would love to have little displays on some of your non-used tables as well. And the QR code's a great idea, because instead of people lingering, if they just see a collection of books and the QR code, they can just click a picture of it and then go home and then buy from you online, or me, instead of sitting there and staring at the stuff. So, but having a visual display of your business at a restaurant, I think once they reopen is a good idea. I do think that that the city is likely to move forward with the curbside dining faster, parklet dining faster than, and at a bigger, faster rate than they had originally had anticipated before this whole COVID-19 thing happened, because I think that they realized that that's the way people are going to be comfortable eating at restaurants. It's going to be outside. So hoping that that's going to move forward quickly. That'll get people out. Once people are out in the downtown, they're more likely to be thinking about shopping in our stores. If they're not in the downtown, they're going to be shopping on Amazon because they're sitting at home. It's just what people think more. So.
No, I mean, I'm pushing hard I'm asking all of my guests to send letters to the council on getting the streets, the streets or the parklets moving faster. I know we were in the process of finishing our plan to build our parklet and submit it when all this, happened. Absolutely, when we can open the restaurants, I think it will make it much more interesting to have the tables instead of them taken out or anything with different items on them. And that's why I wanted to put that idea out there. And then even now, like I said, with our pickup window, I don't know if there's a way to put like a pamphlet, just a quick one. And if everybody, if we can quickly in the next week or so, get everyone a QR code with their business, their logo, their website, and the QR code, I'm happy we can just, all the shops would probably be happy to at least display those in their windows or for the,
Right.
So, and that's,
or to give out with the orders, like when you sell an order of food, to have a little piece of paper that goes in with the order, because then when people get home, they look and see what's inside their package, and if they've got a list of I didn't know that Nature Gallery had an online store now, then suddenly it will get more people, help spread the word faster about all of us.
Well, yeah, because right now we have on one side, with the receipt that we staple onto the bag, we have a paper that's like Mother's Day kits, the wine tasting, other things we have coming up. So we could continue with that, but also have it on two-sided.
The back.
Yeah. Right. So, and I think it's really important to get the entire group together on this, like all of our restaurants too. So.
Yeah. So it's a similar thing. Yeah.
And even our grocery stores, like our draggers and things like that, if they could, I don't know, offer that.
I wish that we could have curbside pickup for for the non-essential businesses too, because I do think that people would swing by and do retail shopping if they knew that I could just put stuff in their car, but we're not there yet.
Yeah.
I think we'll get there, Carol. Oh, are you leaving, Flo?
Yeah, looks like Flo's got to head out. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, so sorry. If anyone wants to reach out, my email is flo@lindentreebooks.com. And thank you all for helping out and for sharing your ideas. And we can do this, Los Altos. We can do it.
I wanted to share one thing, Flo, before you go. Yeah. Next Wednesday, the 20th at 3:00. I've had some conversations with the Complete Streets Committee or Commission about this idea of either making one-ways or closing off streets or that kind of thing. And so the forum would be next Wednesday at 3 p.m.
Okay.
The Chamber will be hosting a webinar for brainstorming and discussion sessions. So would love to have you participate in that.
Yes, I will definitely participate in that. And Victoria, we were so close on that parklet, and then this thing happened, and I was like, are you kidding me right now? I can't even write a sentence to save my life. It takes me 30 minutes to get to anything.
No, it's not. So
we'll get those parklets.
We'll get there.
Well, my contractor right now is like, I don't have time. He's like, I've been delayed doing everything else right now. I don't have time to build yours.
I can't even write sentences to complete the application because my brain doesn't seem to work anymore in the same way. It's like everything takes so much more time. But anyway, nice seeing everybody.
Great idea, though.
Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you, Flo.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So we had thought about some kind of questions just to ask everyone. Does anyone have any new technology that they're using right now that you've started using because of the shelter in place that is working out well for you that you'd like to share?
I'll be, I haven't started it yet, but I am going to be using Chow Now, which that hopefully by early next week, it will be up, and that will be a way for everybody to purchase everything from our cocktail kits to our, meals, to our meal kits, to our grocery items online, and set their pickup time and everything like that. So
what is Chow Now? Is it a website?
It's an app, and unlike DoorDash or things like that, they do offer a delivery function, but this is more integrated in just purchasing to go, like our food to go and everything like that. I don't know if they have it for retail on the retail side, but I'm sure I'm in talks with them every day to finalize everything. They might have partner with somebody that does. So
it's an app versus a website.
Well, it's a website too, but then you can also download the Chow Now app onto your phone. I know that currently Los Altos Grill is using it, and there's one of the sushi restaurants in Los Altos and a few others. So, and it's relatively reasonable. Their credit card processing fees are a little higher than what I would pay, but to make it more streamlined and seamless for people to order, I think that's really important, especially for the millennials, especially just going forward. And this is something that I didn't touch on, is that the Post wasn't a big to-go takeout and things like that, but now that we are here, this is something we're going to be pushing, everything from delivery and everything going forward, So
I think that's one thing I've been hearing on like our Facebook group, the What's Open Los Altos and the takeout and delivery options in Los Altos, is that people really like this, right? I mean, I loved the cocktail kit that we got and took home, and that was just really fun to have a barbecue in our backyard with a cocktail kit from the Post. I thought that was really fun, and thought, I kind of hope this continues because I liked that aspect of it. We enjoyed going to dinner, but we also just like our nice weather in our own private backyards, right? And then isn't bothering anybody. He's got his toys over there, not bothering people in a restaurant, but we still get restaurant food.
Yeah, and all you have to do is grill the burger, so everything else is done. It's kind of nice.
Yeah. So any other technologies people have been using? I mean, sounds like Zoom is something we've all gotten used to.
Zoom.
I just bought a new microphone for my smartphone so I can have better audio when I'm finally get up my nerve to start doing my regular videos, which I am going to be doing, and a gimbal for my phone so I can have more smooth videos. Those are only two small technology things.
Yeah. All right. How about any new social media tips that you've picked up during this time?
I think just for me, it's keep feeding it. That's really important. Like daily post at least, sometimes more than, some days I might get my posting too much because I want to talk about the hospital meals we're doing. Plus we have a new kit, and then we're going to run 50% offline, but the more you can get out there, the better, So for sure, the social media, Instagram is huge. I don't get as much from Facebook. Instagram's been huge for me, and also with the different foodies that I was working with before, food bloggers and food influencers on social media. So just continuing to connect with them, reaching out to different people that are in your industry, whether it be, like I'm a fitness fanatic too. So like whether it be, a boxing gym talking to the bar, like what works for them, things like that, and getting ideas from that, on the social media platform has been huge. And then also on my website, I feel like it's really, at first I'm like, am I Denny's now? Because I have a picture of pretty much everything I'm serving, but people like to see that. And I've gotten, like, yeah, this is a grand slam. No, okay, this is the post. But having the photos of our food kits and the cocktail kits makes a difference. So that visual thing is huge. So if you can implement that into, even just on a website, like a bunch of examples of things that you're doing or classes, or, I think that's what's been really helpful for the post. So
pictures make such a difference. I think we've seen that on our Facebook sites too, for service providers, the restaurants, everything. When one of our community members makes a post and they show their meal, and it looks delicious, then we're all able to have a conversation about it, and I think it really helps.
And just to piggyback on that, we've been doing the lives, as I mentioned during my kind of spiel, and I think it's a great way to kind of give yourselves a little commercial. This is what we do. Ours is a 30-minute fitness class, but we're also going to do, next week, we're going to do an Instagram live retail. So one of our employees will be in there, kind of showing off retail and talking about it and touching it and stretching it and kind of doing that and maybe wearing a few things. So I think social media is a great platform to use to stay connected and to showcase what you're doing. Absolutely.
I have to run too, unfortunately.
Me too.
Yeah, I did want to add in, I was on a webinar last week, it was for restaurants, but one thing that they suggested for your website is really having, a statement, and I can send a few out of, what you're going to be doing, what you're doing now, for COVID, like to keep people safe, from your employees to your guests to everyone else. And then what you're moving towards in the future and things like that. And is almost doing it live, like having the owner speak and also have it. And there's a bunch of cool apps that you can use that basically are teleprompters. I have it all in the webinar. I'll have to pull it up, but I can get that information to Nicole and Kim and they can put it out there, because that's something, especially with the states that have already started to open, that's been very important for their customers that are coming back. So
I've seen the words COVID compliant restaurant or COVID compliant business. And I think that's a good branding term to be using to like reassure our customers that, we are in compliance with all of the guidelines and using sanitation measures and whatnot.
Yeah, but even just diving a little deeper and even like coming from the heart and from the owner, like if you can, and again, I'll send that information.
Personalize it.
And then, I think it would be an important part to put on your website and everything like that. But sorry, I have to run. I have to get on a call at 11. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. We've done Facebook Live events too. Nicole started those this week. I would love to do those for each of your businesses so that we can get that inside personal touch.
Yeah, and that's, I guess, the one technology I've been using is StreamYard. So it's really easy for both businesses to connect and do a live without being near each other, and then to share to other platforms. So if you'd, Carol, I know we're planning one once you get your website updated, but anyone else, just let me know. And we're just a little past 11 o'clock, so I know people have got things to do. But just thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you for our speakers, and we look forward to talking with you more.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Bye.